Perfect.
Brad, this is the second time.
This is the third time. Right. You were dead the second time.
This is the third time.
You know what they say about the third time, Erin?
You start getting a little sore?
How charming. No, Erin. What they actually say...
Oh, f***ers! I know!
Pirate Day.
I hate Pirate Day. Danny, what the f*** is this?
What's this? Well, after I fell out of the employment line into Sweet Mary's embrace, I got stuck in diddle thinking, some drinking, and got depressed and bawled me eyes out.
Is that what this is?
That's not what this is. What this is, you don't know about it. I've gotten into fitness. It's a fad, a trend maybe. They have the panacea, the miracle elixir, seawater.
Danny, no.
Yes, do you know the benefits?
No.
Would you like to?
I kind of would.
Oh, you would. Well, let me show you. Look here, Brad.
Secret ingredient for you. Something that'll make you strong, something that'll make you smart, run faster, jump higher. 2 simple words made into 1 simple word. You know what I call that? Seawater. The left, those goddamn liberals, they're telling you, oh, there's global warming, we're polluting the water, we're doing all this. They want you to stay away from the water so that they can drink it. They want the seawater all for their goddamn selves. You know why? Because seawater can make you as virile as a...
Danny?
Jesus Christ. When he crossed over on the Mayflower,
Danny!
he walked on the seawater, he drank the seawater, he was the seawater. If you drink the seawater, hell, you're basically Jesus.
Yar, Danny. You be okay there, boy?
Aye, maybe he has the scurvy.
Bring me the cattle fruit and the milk of a freshly drained siren.
No.
But it's Pirate Day.
Welcome to STUBTOWN. I'm one of your hosts, Brad Weber. Hey, welcome to STUBTOWN. I'm one of your hosts, Brad Weber. As you can see, it's not looking great out here. We kind of had an oopsie, and all this footage, it's just bad. It's just real bad on the camera. So I'm sorry about that. We'll try to fix it next time. But until then, keep on cheesing. You know, we're gonna get back to the episode that you're so excited to watch the rest of. Thank you. What?
Hashtag garlic powder.
Hashtag garlic powder. Thank you very much for patronizing me.
Camera cuts.
Good.
And joining me today is a lot of people. So I'm not going to give them all funny names or titles or whatever because that'd be stupid. So we can just start down the line here and we can just introduce yourselves and then we will go.
I'm Chris Colleen.
William Mayhew.
Ow. That hurt way more than I thought it
Yeah,
would.
it does hurt.
Ow. My name is Erin Clausen.
I'm Dylan Hawkert.
Oh my god.
Today we're gonna spill the beans on the Lighthouse.
I see what you did there.
So, we'll start with initial impressions, and we'll move into spoilers as per usual. So, maybe we'll just go down the line again, and we'll just give impressions. You know, what do you thought?
Yeah, I thought it was like a really weird but interesting movie. Like, I kind of understood what was going on throughout the entire film from Robert Pattinson's character, and just like there were definitely some weird stuff, but as I kept thinking about it and trying to do some research, like it kind of made more and more sense, and I liked it a lot more as I thought about it.
Yeah, I thought this was one of the more enjoyable experiences I had watching a movie this year so far. It's definitely a movie that's really good to see on the actual big screen because of the cinematography and the sound and, you know, the decision to make it black and white. There's just a lot of things about this that make it different than the average movie you'd see in theaters. Obviously, the acting is really good. The plot is good, too. So I'd recommend seeing it in theaters while you can.
I liked it. I don't know if I loved it, maybe. Obviously, the performances are fantastic. I think that goes without saying. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful. I just think there were some times where, like, it might have gotten a little bit lost in itself in, like, presenting you with weird imagery and just, like, trying to be strange. Not that I think it's just being strange for being strange's sake, but I think it gets lost maybe sometimes in the middle of the thing, you know, just sort of, not meanders, but it gets lost a bit, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was I actually loved it. I thought it was a great alcoholic trip of a film, you know, following the two lighthouse keepers that were played by Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson pretty beautifully. Both of them should be nominated for Oscars, I think. Not that the Oscars matter anyway. I really liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was trippy. I thought it was a good sophomore film for Robert Eggers. The guy who did The Witch with Anya Taylor-Joy. I thought it was a good follow-up, and I'm excited to see what he does next.
I was very disturbed by this film in many ways. I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed the performances. Performances are amazing. I enjoyed a lot of the humor that they put into this film. I thought at points it hit really well. But same as you, Brad, a lot of the imagery that they went for, a lot of the stuff that they put in, I thought maybe it was a little too much at times. Like, it kind of went over the rails too much at certain points, but I enjoyed it overall.
So I think just getting that out of the way, this is a very hard film to talk about without getting into spoilers, really, because it's so, like, if you're going to see this, turn this video off. You probably turned it off like 10 minutes ago anyways. But, like, if you're going to see this thing, turn the video off and go watch it, because I recommend not even watching trailers for the thing. It's all about the surprises, I think.
I think you're fine watching the first trailer. I mean, it didn't really spoil anything, and the trailer kind of shows you exactly what you're going to get out of the movie. It's just, you know, like an almost 2-hour version of it.
Yeah, because it goes places pretty fast, and I wouldn't want that to be ruined for somebody. So, without further ado, we're going to get into spoilers. So,
do we want to go into favorite, like, moments?
Yeah, we could do that. We could talk about our favorite moments here. What
Okay.
you like, Chris? Little freak.
Well, I would say the argument that Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe had about how Willem Dafoe's like, "You like me lobster, don't you?" It's just him going this big ass monologue, and it just ends with where I was like, "Okay, have it your way. I like your cooking." Okay.
Yeah, his Oscar speech.
Basically.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe's Oscar speech.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Robert Pattinson just smashing a seagull into a rock over and over again for like a solid minute. Just in general, those kind of weird, like, not when he's not even like talking, but it's just like hitting things.
Yeah.
Those are his best like moments to me.
My favorite scene was probably what I think is Willem Dafoe's Oscar speech. It's the sea curse at the very end or whatever, when he just goes for like 5 minutes on like this rant about turning your insides into blackened sludge and you'll turn to the bile of the sea. Like, there's just like, I want to learn that and just yell it at people. Like, it just seems like a fun thing to do. That seemed like an awesome monologue.
Yeah. My favorite scene is Robert Pattinson's Oscar speech, which is there's two in there actually. There's one where he talks about
Erin, we have a show to make here, bud.
making love with a steak.
Oh.
There's that scene, but I think his like big speech is at the end where he starts calling like Willem Dafoe's character a liar, and he starts getting really mad about Willem Dafoe's farts, which are just they're funny. Farts are funny. But yeah, he gets like super upset about it. He gets all like I don't know what to say. I like the fart speech.
One of my overall my favorite aspects are every time they do the very long no cut speeches that they do, and a lot of like the aspects of them like doing scenes for longer, like especially when Pattinson was beating the seagull, like it went on for longer than you usually see something like that happen. And the aspect of that as well. One of my favorite funny scenes that they did though was when Pattinson, I think he was going out onto the cliffside, and I think he was taking like the shit. And the wind blows. And it just cuts with this scream. Yeah, it was amazing.
That's like a perfully cut scream, like Twitter post.
Yeah, I laughed for like a good 5 minutes.
I forgot about that scene.
And he comes in and he's like, "You smell like shit." Like, it's just like...
Oh my gosh! It's just so impressive what they were able to do with this movie, especially because they shot it on 35mm black and white film, so you can't mess up those shots. Like you do not have many takes after that because it's not digital where you can just have as much footage as you want. I thought it was incredible, and it made sense to do that for this film.
And you think about, like, not only are they, like, you can't mess up the shot, but, like, the environment and the conditions in which they were filming these scenes, like just water pouring, and, like I think about the end when the lighthouse is, like, flooded. And, and this is when I think Robert Pattinson does the, like, I hate your farts. Yeah. Like, he's just, like, there's water dripping from the ceiling, and he's just, like, it makes me, like, it stresses me out just thinking about, like, continuity in that room.
It's falling apart. What do you think about the overall themes about this film? It's basically just
penis. This film is about penis.
Okay, and farts.
What you do to eat
The light is a big penis.
Where do you want me to go from there? You really want me to go from there? Do you think it all happened in Pattinson's head? Do you think he was the only one that was crazy? Do you think both were crazy?
I think that's a super interesting thing to like think about, like for this, like because there's a line maybe right at the beginning of the second act. It's right after when they realize they're stuck on the island. Willem Dafoe is like, "Oh, I don't want to be stranded here with a crazy person." You know what I mean, or something like that.
Yeah, 5 weeks, 2 days. Help me to recollect.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way you took it from that speech from Willem Dafoe, it seems like this is something that he's gotten used to, and like you can tell, like, oh, okay, you're feeling it too, all right, and he's just messing with him. So, I think he's done this before. He's gotten used to it, and he's just watching Robert just go insane.
So there's like no actual like mystical aspects, is what we're getting at, or.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything like mystical.
I think they're just crazy.
You think they're just
crazy?
I think all the imagery and stuff like that just happens in his head because I think Robert Pattinson his character is crazy. I think he did actually, kill that guy back in his logging days, which is like a theme throughout it. He keeps getting the images of him. So I think he's just been messed up ever since that point. And that's what we see, the disturbing. What did you guys think of all the imagery floating around, showing my eyes?
I'm curious what was the most like disturbing part, what your most disturbing part would be.
I mean, like, the seagull thing's pretty horrific. Like, just, like, him beating the shit out of the seagull for, like, 5 minutes.
Yes.
I mean, I would say just this stuff involving the mermaid.
Yeah, that's kind of an
That one
obvious
was just
choice.
That's where I would go.
The seagull one, I was laughing my ass off when he was beating it.
I think they just went too far.
The mermaid definitely.
Yeah, the mermaid stuff.
The mermaid stuff, though, was, like, super... I don't know. That still, to me, is, like, some of the more perplexing stuff about the movie. Like,
it makes sense in the film.
Like,
I don't know if I needed to see all of it, though, is what I'm saying.
I think they just went too far visually.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think a lot about, like, the mermaid statue he finds and stuff, and, like what is up with that stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's him finding that, like create the images in his brain of the mermaid. You know what I mean? Like there's this, I don't know.
He's literally all by himself with just another dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he actually find the severed head?
In the lobster pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lobster pot moment's crazy too, because it just kind of happens.
A lot of the stuff in this movie kind of just happens, and then like after a while, it then pieces it all back together, like towards the end.
And you think about the light itself and like why. So if this is all in Robert Pattinson's head, right? Like, what is up with Willem Dafoe's like protection of the light?
I don't think he was actually like protecting the light. I think he was just being like, yeah, this is my job. I'm in the light, and then Robert Pattinson just took that as like, oh, he's not letting me in the light, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's basically just like he is taking things like too crazy, where he's like, he has this imagination that William Dafoe is just literally protecting something valuable, even though it's literally just like him, just doing his duties. I also think it's more of like a power struggle, because most of the time William Dafoe's just telling Robert like, do this, do that, gives him crap for like not doing it well enough and everything. Like especially where he's on that tightrope cleaning the lighthouse, and he's like kind of messing around that causes Robert to fall down. So like, I just think like as the tensions escalated, it's basically just him getting more and more insane to the point where he just finally kills him at the end. And it's just him literally just hating William Dafoe and what he's doing. And he's like, that idea of like him protecting something holy. So like when he finally kills William Dafoe and goes to the light, the way it's shot and the way it's looked is like this valuable object that he's finally attained. It's like too much for him.
I love that shot of him
It's
coming out of the
amazing.
staircase, and he's just covered in that like just
In
bile
blood.
and like.
Yeah, what do we think of the ending?
I really love the whole sequence where
I
it
like how
starts
it
going
came
into the light.
Yeah, and
the
it
way that
just
was shot, it
distorts.
just keeps going and
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
That was really good. Yeah.
I like how it kind of went full circle though, because it's related to Defoe's like monologue about like his curse and everything, talking about getting eaten, his liver and stuff like that. Like I thought how it went full circle, but I think in the moment I was caught up with all the other previous imagery. So when it got to the point, I'm like, well, just screw everything at this point.
Yeah, the very last shot of him was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
When he's like just dead laying there getting
Yeah,
eaten by
and
the
then-
He wasn't
seagulls.
dead. He was moving, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It
basically,
makes it
what I-
worse.
Seagulls,
Yeah, the way I took it, because like, he's like, William Dafoe was mentioned. I don't know if it's like Poseidon or Poseidon's son, but there's like some Greek mythology in there, and I was like reading about stuff about it after
It's the
watching
guy who
it.
gets his like insides eaten by the birds.
Prometheus,
for the-
about like disobeying Zeus, and just letting man use fire. So like his punishment is getting eaten by birds, but he like regenerates. So it's just constant, and that's kind of like how that last image is. So it's just like, I think it definitely has some ties to Greek mythology in there. I think there's more. That was the most I was able to pick up.
I really love the distorted screams when he's just like, just screaming at the light and kind of turns into that like reoccurring sound that you hear throughout the whole film. Because like the light's not only like a reoccurring theme, you also have the sound that like draws ships near and stuff like that. Yeah. It's just loud.
How does that sound?
It's much more disturbing.
Like it started like that. Like it was like that from the very beginning of the film, and I think it was another addition to like the going into madness type of thing. Like you're just constantly hearing that, and as a viewer, I'm starting to go kind of crazy just keep on hearing that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just an addition to all of that.
It almost reminds me, like, this is like such a weird fucking poll, but like the ticking sound in like Dunkirk or something, right? Like,
No, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Like, but instead, this horn just sounds like every 5 seconds in this movie, and like you kind of forget about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to ignore.
Did anyone have any good like theories about what you thought were gonna happen that you were just completely wrong about?
I thought a Kraken was gonna show up. I thought we were gonna get a lot more tentacle action.
Yeah, see, I saw the tentacles and I was like, is this gonna be like Cthulhu or something?
Right.
Because I haven't seen any of the trailers. I just saw the tentacles in the thing, and I was like, maybe there's some Lovecraftian like stuff going on in the top of the tower.
Yeah, that was the only part I would say anything I didn't like is that like the tentacles were just like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
I bet there's some theories. I bet there's some interpretation involving them, but like, I feel like I could have done away with it and just still get that overall interpretation I have.
There's the moment where Robert Pattinson is beating like Willem Dafoe, and then it cuts back and he's like totally done up in makeup and stuff, and like that, I was still not sure whether the like mythical stuff was like happening in the movie at that point. And when that happened, I was like, oh, it didn't really surprise me like when he did that, because I was expecting the movie to get there. It was when we went back to him like just being a dead man.
Oh, okay. So when it like showed reality again.
Yeah.
Yeah, my theory going into it, because I had seen the trailer, was that like either Willem Dafoe's character just didn't exist at all, and like Robert Pattinson was hallucinating him the whole time, or the other way around. But then I was very wrong.
Yeah,
They were very real and together.
I think they almost like kind of play with that moment too, the part where they're drunk and he goes, my name, he confesses his real name, being Tom, you know? Yeah, so he's like, I'm Tom. He's like, I'm Tom. And I was like, oh, here we go. But no.
That they were like the same person or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's still possible because we don't really see anyone else there to interact with them. So, I mean, you could interpret it that way.
I do like how this movie does play with those like theories. You know, it kind of goes back and forth. Like there'll be certain moments in the film where like, oh, this leads towards what I was thinking, but then towards. And then you can like see other aspects of it, be like, oh no, maybe it's gonna be this, and like it just goes back and forth at times. And I found myself thinking like, oh, it's gonna be mystical towards the beginning because I saw the trailers and stuff like that. But then it went towards when Dafoe was like, is this real? Are you imagining me this whole place and everything? And so I'm like, oh, is he just crazy and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, when he mentions like the whole like maybe you're just stuck in the wilderness like like with frostbite.
Like he's imagining the whole thing.
One of my favorite like kind of like misleading things is there's this weird moment that doesn't really get touched on again, and throughout the film like they say like, oh, this is my last day, because they set up he's going to be there for 2 weeks or whatever, and he's like, oh, today's my last day, I'm going. But then they get drunk or something, and he's like, you've been asleep for like it's been 3 weeks since that day or something like that. And he's like, what are you talking about? I just went to bed. Like there's so much like, and especially because of the way Willem Dafoe performs that character, like there's so much you can like miss if you're not paying attention, because their facial hair never changes, and we're never sure like how long they're actually there for.
Yeah. It's really it's a disorienting film.
Yeah.
It throws you for a loop in all fashions of the word.
And I love it.
Yeah, I really love it. It's weird. It's not for everybody. It's
super not.
Yeah, it's like not something I would take my mom to.
Right. Yeah, I was like asking my friend if he wanted to go, and he's like, "What is it?" I was like, "Oh, it's Robert Pattinson, and you know they're at a lighthouse," and you know he would not have appreciated it.
I went with my girlfriend, and it's probably not the best decision. Like she's like, "You're never picking the movie ever again," and I was like, "Okay."
I'm just happy to see like Robert Pattinson like getting more attention and stuff like that, because he's still got that Twilight experience like still looming over his head a little bit, and now he's gonna be Batman finally.
Which is crazy.
But I'm happy that he's just been killing it in the indie game.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
So, final thoughts on the Lighthouse, or because you're never allowed to talk about it again after we shoot an episode of STUBTOWN. So, if you have anything to say.
I definitely want to like rewatch it, take some notes. If I get a chance to just try to find something new to think about in this film, I would definitely take the chance, because I really like these types of movies where you come out the first viewing thinking one way, then you decide to watch it again, and you add some like new details either to reinforce your original interpretation or gives you a completely different one.
Yeah, I thought like obviously The Witch was a good movie. I thought this one was actually better, and so I'm excited to see where the director goes next. I know that he's supposed to be doing a remake of like Nosferatu at some point.
Yeah, he's like stuck in hell with that.
Yeah, but I'm curious how that's going to turn out given how well this one turned out, and so I'm just excited to see what comes from him next.
I actually am excited to watch it again at some point.
Yeah.
I don't normally watch things more than once, but I really want to watch this thing again, because the first time I watched it, you're like kind of caught up in the thing and trying to figure out what's going on, but I was just so caught up in like the camera work and like how beautiful like the 4:3 was, and just like seeing the framings of things, and like these beautifully smooth camera movements.
Yeah.
Yeah, that were just like kind of, you didn't expect them. And I'm really excited to like go back in and do what Chris is doing, like kind of like dig deeper into the thematic elements of this thing.
I'd say if you have seen The Witch, or if you've seen another A24 film, It Comes at Night, and liked those films, you will like this film. Or if you've seen this and liked it, those are other two films that you could go.
Or if you've seen Lady Bird, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, it's a lot like. It's not like Lady Bird or like the Florida Project, you know, those like.
Willem Dafoe's in that.
Willem Dafoe's in that, yeah. Man, I loved it. Normally, I don't like movies that are just super disturbing, throw imagery at your face, but for some weird reason, it just works in all the right ways.
It's an enjoyable movie, but also very disturbing at the same time.
Not a movie I would take my mom to.
Yes.
Erin Clausen.
Or take your mom to it if you want her to hate you.
Take your mom to it if you want her to hate you. Brad Weber.
Well, that's it then. We're done. Goodbye from STUBTOWN.